Yo, free the marchers. Give y'all a minute to get up in here. Give y'all a minute. Marcy T was good. Kelvin Black, how's the sound? Like and share. Por favore. We're going to get into this sick shit. We're going to get into this sick shit, man. I mean, not really much needs to be said about it. This is typical shit. I mean, we know they've been doing this for years, man. They have been on this shit for years. Drag your kids to pride. Drag your kids to pride. I mean, it's not even subtle anymore, right? I mean, we know this is a double entendre, right? This is a drag. You know what I'm saying? This could be taken in multiple ways. Drag queen, drag your kids. Force them. Force them to the pride event. You know what I'm saying? And let them see shit like this. Let them see men walking around in thongs and all that type of shit. Get them normalized to it, right? That's the ultimate level of grooming. The grooming has reached new heights. Shit. Wow. Hold on, y'all. The grooming has reached new heights, man. Made a bit of a mess over here. Got to clean it up. The grooming has reached new heights, and they are working hard to disarm the populace so that they can do shit like this and bring it up to level 10, 12, 13, 14, to where it doesn't even have to be grooming anymore. So they can outright just have our children on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Turn them into elemental peas. And the best way to do that and get away with it is, of course, to disarm people like me and you who knows that this is some bullshit, that know what they're doing to our children. And so I wanted to bring this to your attention. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. I mean, this is not news anymore, right? Oh shit! Damn it! The fuck, man. Hold on. Having some technical difficulties over here. Damn it. All right, my bad, y'all. Hot ass mess. Anyway, all this shit goes together. You know what I'm saying? All this shit goes together. What I'm talking about is the mass situations, the gun grabs, and all this shit goes together. They love this shit. No real leader is going to call this out, right? No real leader. None of our politicians, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to be labeled as bigots and all that type of shit. Well, that's why you have people like me. No one's going to call this out. Donald Trump ain't going to call it out. You know what I'm saying? None of the Republicans are going to call it out. The Democrats damn sure ain't going to call it out. They're going to encourage this shit. And so that's why they don't want us to call this out. They don't want us to be able to call this shit out because they want this shit to continue and they want it to be ramped up because they have these sick fantasies about what they want to do to our children and what they're already doing to children all over the world in the in the sex trafficking trade. You know, and this is why they want to disarm the people. They don't want us to fight this shit. And so this is something that they have to deal with right now. This is as far as they can go right now. You know, and they have all the shit in entertainment and in the media. This shit is all coming together, and the last thing that they have to do is disarm the people so that they can just ramrod this shit right up our noses, in our faces, throw it in our faces, smash it in our faces, smash it in our kids' faces, and we won't be able to do anything about it. All right? Let's look at this shit. Right? This is disgusting. Look at this. Look at this. Really? Really? Look at this shit. This is okay? You got a kid giving you money. You got a kid giving you money to do the splits in front of her. Look at this shit. Every single adult in here needs to be arrested. They all need to be arrested. And I'd say something a little bit harsher than that, right? Because, I mean, this is evidence. This is unequivocal. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, evidence that these people are all aiding and abetting in child abuse. Do we need a trial? I'm just saying. What did God say in the Bible about people who would harm children? It's better to tie a millstone around their neck and drop them in the ocean or something like that. Somebody knows the Bible. Let me know what's going on. Yeah. Marcy T was good. She says they're jaying off to this sheet. Yes, the highly regarded intelligent organization has bleak prospects of the United States in the years to come, including 81% decline in its population from 32 million in 2017 to 100 million in 2025. No shit. Please let me know where you got that from. Please post a link, or you can email me a link. It doesn't matter. Obama was there. It'd be better for a man to have dgal.com. Man, I wish I knew what that was right now. But look at this. Who would think this is okay? Why is this okay? This is disgusting. What? Absolutely disgusting. Right? John Doyle confronts parents. I think this is where the woman said, "You're scaring the effing children," or some stuff like that, and she's cussing. She's cussing real loud in front of children, and then you see a child in the back. They're doing this. They're covering their ears because this crazy woman is screaming and hollering. Let me see if this is it.
I only have one question. Why do you want to put an axe wound in between your son's legs?
That's the point.
I need to go.
Let us in and get the ticket.
You're not making America great.
Yes, we are. What do you mean? You're making America worse. You're bringing your children
You need to go.
to this event.
You need to go now.
You are literally. Someone better call CPS on y'all. Please do.
We'll pray for you. You must repent.
Bless you, man. Please.
Look at that. Look at this.
Says the man dressed in a dress.
I wonder if the mama bear instinct is going to come out in 3 years when the mainstream Democrat Party platform is they want to rape your kids.
Ooh.
And they're all going to think it's one big, smug little joke, these people, by the way. Understand that there is a bigger difference between 10 years ago and now than there would be between now and in 5 years when they're openly advocating for pedophilia like they've already started doing. You people are the...
They've been advocating for pedophilia for longer than that. All right? The man-boy lover thing, the national NAMBLA, they have been advocating to normalize pedophilia for decades. High Impact Flicks was good. We should get government to pass more laws so they can stop this. Exactly. Because that's the only way it's going to stop, right? The only way to stop this is to petition the government to stop this shit. That's the best way to do it. It would be better for that man to have a millstone tied around his neck and dropped into the deepest ocean when you hurt one of my little children. Exactly. That's what the Bible says. And I agree. That's one thing in the Bible I agree with. Marcy says, historically, a change in the economic paradigm, Deagle organization predicts massive global depopulation. Yeah, and so does the Georgia Guidestones. They didn't give a specific year, but, they said something about 500 million people to maintain perfect balance with nature and all that stuff. Snap, this is information from Deagle.com, brother. Okay, I'll look that up. High Impact Flip says, the things that's strange about this is that these guys started praying rosary incessantly. So they're part of the pedo Catholic Church. That's very interesting. Speaking out against pedos in the gay bar. Great point. Great point. Maybe they like their little boys to remain little boys. Maybe they don't want their little boys to become little girls. I don't know. Yeah, that's a great point. And this is why it's interesting to me how people like the amazing Lucas would call for gun control when we have stuff like this going on. Once they take our firearms, this is one reason, right? This is one reason they want to disarm it. It's not the only reason, right? They want ready access to our children, and they don't want any resistance. They do not want us to resist, them coming after our children. They don't want to have to kidnap our children in the dead of night. They don't want to have to snatch our children off the street or get them from Target or whatever the case may be. They don't want to have to do that. They don't want to have to get people like Ghislaine Maxwell to recruit. No, they want to just be able to go to your house. Have you given birth to our child yet? Okay, you have. Okay, give us our child. Thank you. Now it's my child. Go make some more babies for us so that we can do what we want with them. So we can take their circumcised hoods and rub them on our face to have good skin and all that type of shit. We're running low on adrenochrome, so we need your children, and I like all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's very frustrating because I feel like where is everybody? Where are all the parents that really have a problem with this? Where are all the parents in Texas? Why is it just these guys? What's up with that? And look at this. I don't like being gaslit about how totally not weird this is. Drag kids to Pride. It's not going to lick itself, right? It's not going to lick itself. What kind of shit is that? In front of children. If it was really not about grooming children, then you would take this sign down. You would take any sexually subjective thing out of that place, including the drag queens, okay? Including the drag queens. And in other words, you would not take your children to this place. You would not take your children, or wait, the cameras, yeah. You would not take your children here, right? You would not allow children to be a part of this. If you really cared about children, why are we sexualizing children? This woman is not going to lick herself. Look, it's ridiculous. Where's the video of that woman who was doing the splits in front of the, where is that? This is, what is this shit? Why didn't the police bust up in here, get these kids out of here, and take these people to jail? Her or that, whatever that is, this, all these things here, get the children out, remove them from, not the government. I'm talking about the people, right? The community, the village. This is why we need the village in charge. That's why the people need to be in charge and not the elites, right? Because the elites want this or this, that, right? They want this shit to go down. They want your children to be exposed to this over and over and over again and more and more and more. They want to normalize it for you. They're grooming you as well. They've been grooming us, my generation, right? They've been grooming my generation, but not soon enough, because a lot of people like me, my age, I'm 42 years old, they ain't going for this shit. But at the same time, they're not really speaking up about it because they're afraid of the backlash. Why would you be afraid of backlash for standing up against shit like this? Why would you be afraid of backlash for standing up for shit like this if you really cared about children? I don't care about the backlash. I don't care. I have no fear of retribution from the LMNOP community. And YouTube can strike my channel. Look, I only got one more strike left. One more strike and my channel's done. And I don't care. I am not about to sit up here and be silent about this while the children, look. Anything that could happen to me from speaking out against this is nothing compared to what's happening to this child right here. This child has been traumatized. You are planting seeds in this child's mind. This child, look. Why? This kid gave her money. Look. Explain to me how that child knew to give this thing money. This thing. Because what did the parents say? Listen, this is how it works. We're going to go to this godforsaken place, and a thing is going to dance in front of you, wearing some weird shit, and you're going to give them money to dance for you because I'm a shitty parent, and that's what I want to teach you. This is completely disgusting. Google messes with me on the daily. Marcy T says. High Impact Flip says the village called the other day. They need their idiots back. Yeah, no shit. I appreciate that, Marcy T. I hope you make another channel. I will miss you back. I have other channels. I have my backup channel is Freedom's March 2 with a TOO. So I'm gonna start putting more content on that. Listen, man, this is ridiculous, though. There is no way. There is no way we should give up anything. Give up any tool in light of this. In light of just being a free individual, but especially in light of this. I don't know. This shit is crazy. Let's see what some of these twatters are saying. Let's see. A lot of people are having an issue with this. You have to be kidding me. This is Texas, no less. Yeah, no shit. It's in Texas. It's the major cities that are like this. That's where people from NYC and California end up. Not just these places. Trust me. They're just a little more open about it, right? Grooming is happening all over the place. They're just a little more bold in places like that. This pisses me off so much. Okay, so, yeah, that's good. People are speaking out. This guy, Richard Grenell, says, they said Trump will start World War III, and he literally made world peace. What? What does that have to do with this? 5 Tampa Bay Rays players refuse to wear pride flags on the uniforms. Good for them. Take your children to church, not to drag bars. Or you can just, you can take your children out on the land and teach them how to live off the land and grow food and take them to the range, right? Take them to the range. This should say range. Take your children to the range, not to drag bars. Take them to the range. Take them hiking. Take them to the dojo to hone their self-defense skills. Why would you allow your husband to embarrass himself? Huh? This woman, Brett Cooper, says, stop sexualizing children. That shouldn't be controversial. Facts. Yeah, it shouldn't be. But for some reason it is. Tim Pool says, I hope SCOTUS rules on nationwide constitutional carry. Because Tim Pool being who he is. I don't know what's up with this guy, man. But he's been more and more anti-police lately. And, of course, who knows what he is? I can't even speculate. But SCOTUS shouldn't have to rule on nationwide constitutional carry. They shouldn't have to. Listen, if SCOTUS was doing their job in June, right, this month, that's when the decision's supposed to come out for that New York case, right? If they wanted to do the right thing, they would say there is no such thing as a constitutional, or there is no such thing. You know what? They would say all gun laws need to be eradicated. We rule that every single gun law on the books is an infringement of the Second Amendment, therefore it's unconstitutional. And not only is it unconstitutional, it violates the rights of every free individual in the country. And to enforce and create these laws is to violate 18 U.S. Code 242 and 241. And that's it. That's all they have to do. That would get rid of all these 20,000 plus gun laws in this country. And then we can focus on protecting our children from the likes of this. And not just this, but the people, the elites that enable these people to groom your children on their behalf. Right? That's what needs to happen. That's what SCOTUS needs to come out and say. They don't need to rule on nationwide constitutional carry. They need to rule on the fact that you should not be touching our right to keep and bear arms in any form or fashion. This is disgusting. Disgusting. You know what I mean? You know what's interesting? Shea Pierre was good. Same X Drive was cracking. Are you in Texas, Marcy T? That's what's up. I just watched FLA cop violate 18 U.S. Code 242, and said he would do it again. Yeah, I mean that's what these people do. They thirst They thirst and hunger for power. And there's no greater level of power than to violate someone's rights and get away with it, right? That's why I don't want any power over anybody. I don't want to have power over people because I don't want to be greedy and want more and more and more, because that's what happens. You get a taste for power and you want more and you want more and you want to. And some people can handle a little bit of power and be balanced and not abuse people. I am one of those people. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want to have that power because leaders are chosen. Leaders don't force themselves on the people. Leaders are chosen by the people. You know what I'm saying? I would never choose to lead a group of people. But if they look to me for leadership, I would gladly give that leadership. But I would not want to have power over people. You know what I'm saying? These people, they try to dictate over others and dictate people's lives and dictate what they should do, and that's just wrong. But I wanted to look this up real quick about how Justin Trudeau is trying to outlaw handguns in Canada, and so a bunch of Canadians went out to buy handguns. I need to spell handguns correctly. Handguns. So, you know how they like to say that the right, the Republicans, and all that shit, they, the lobbyists, how they're out to just boost the sales of the gun manufacturers and all that shit. No, it's the people that call for gun control that do that. When you call for gun control and you haven't implemented that gun control yet, this is what happens. Canadian handgun sales soar after Trudeau proposes freeze. You see what I'm saying? And I knew this was going to happen. If you're going to outlaw and ban the sale of AR-15s, right? And it passes, there's a certain time where it's going into effect, and people will go out and buy those in droves. The sales soar, right? When Obama, I think it was after the SH situation. After that situation, Obama was threatening to implement gun control through executive action. Gun sales went up. In California in 2016, they passed all these laws that didn't go into effect until 2017. Gun sales of AR-15s and all that shit, it soared. No, it's not. It's not the Republicans, right? It's not the Republicans who do this, that keep gun manufacturers in business. It's the Democrats, right? And this is why they want to make it possible to sue gun manufacturers, right? If somebody kills somebody with a gun, then the individual, the victim, can go after the gun manufacturer for that happening, which makes zero sense in a world where rationale and logic rules. Unfortunately, that's not what happens, right? That's not what happens. This world, a lot of what's going on in this world is ran on pathos, right? The elites, the controllers, the rulers, they use pathos to hold sway over people, not logos, not ethos. Pathos, emotion, right? They pull on your heartstrings. Every great is, and I'm using great loosely, every great ruler or dictator, like Caesar and Alexander the Great, all these people, are politicians, presidents, prime ministers, when they appeal to the masses, they use pathos, right? They use pathos to appeal to the masses to get the shit that they want, so that they could hold sway over people. They don't use logic. They don't use ethics. They don't use, they don't use that stuff. They use emotion. They play on people's emotions. Mark Antony, right? Before he, you know what I'm saying? Mark Antony back in the Roman days. All his speeches, they use emotion, because unfortunately, most people are easily manipulated through emotion. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Chelsea G was good. Freedom for All says 30 plus million AR-15s, 160 plus million standard capacity magazines in the U.S. I'm pretty sure there's more than 160 million standard capacity magazines, because there's like 100 and some million AR-15s. And people just don't have one magazine per their AR-15. I know an individual, not me, because I lost all my shit in a boating accident. But before I lost all my weapons in a boating accident, I had probably 6 or 7 magazines for my one AR, right? For one of my ARs, or if I had 2, then it would be probably like 3 or 4 per AR. But each firearm that people have, if they're smart, they have more than one magazine. If there are over 400 million firearms in this country, minus maybe 30 or 40 or 50 million for firearms that don't have magazines, you're going to have twice or 3 times as many magazines. You're not going to get rid of magazines. This is why outlawing and prohibiting magazines makes zero sense. When they prohibited alcohol, there was no way they could get rid of all the alcohol. And if they did, people had ways of creating alcohol. They made alcohol in little stills and moonshine stills and all that type of shit. You're not going to stop it. People can make magazines on 3D printers. You're not. It's not going to stop it. Chelsea says, "Hello, Marcy T." Oh, okay. Exactly. You're not. It's not going to stop. But look, Amon Sandhu checked store after store for handgun in the Canada's British Columbia, hoping to make a purchase before a freeze on sales takes effect, but struggled to find one in stock. I'm concerned that if you buy one now, I may never have the choice again. And when this happens, this tells you how Canadians really feel about what Trudeau is doing. But they would have you believe that people want this. They will tell you that people want Trudeau to do this. But the fact that handgun sales soar after he threatens to freeze handgun sales lets you know that the people aren't with him on that. Just like here in the United States, when the pandemic started and they started locking people down, record gun sales, record background checks for new owners, people who never owned a firearm before, people who would go to the gun store and think they can buy their firearm in California and get it that day, and come to find out, no, baby, you got to wait 10 days, pimping. That tells you how people really feel about being disarmed. The issue is they don't have the balls to stand up and resist when the government goes to do these types of things. When they go to ban shit and all that other shit. Or in some places they don't have the balls, like California, New York, Chicago, and places like that. But nationwide, yeah, a lot of people have the balls to stand up and resist it, or at least they say they do. And this is why they're having such a hard time passing these laws, because they know right now is not the right time. We need to build more emotional capital with the people. We need more situations. We need more mass situations that happen so that we can pull on more heartstrings. We don't have enough heartstrings right now, so we need to constantly and continually do this. We need this to happen in rural areas. We need this to happen in rural schools, in places like Texas where there's constitutional carry, and this, that, and the third. so that we can continue to pull on heartstrings to really ramrod this shit through. But this tells you that Canadians don't really want this shit. Several gun stores in British Columbia province saw lines out the door within hours of Liberal leaders' declaration on Monday. Other shops across Canada said they sold out within days. Sales have been brisk, said Jen Levine, a co-owner of the hunting store in a strip mall on the outskirts of the capital of Ottawa, nestled between the barbershop, a Chinese buffet restaurant, and a conservative lawmaker's constituency office. We sold 100 handguns, or almost our entire stock, in the last 3 days since the Prime Minister announced the freeze. Almost all stores are sold out, including me. According to the government estimates, there are more than 1 million handguns in Canada, which has a population of 38 million people. Some 2,500 stores sell pistols in the country. 1 million handguns in a population of 38 million people. An estimate 1 million. With this, oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy. At present, a person must have a restricted firearms license in order to purchase. You have to have a restricted firearms license just to get a handgun. So why are we freezing handguns then? Why are we freezing the sales if they have to do this? It's not good enough. This is not good enough. A license is not good enough. They have to completely ban and prohibit a tool, a firearm. That's what they want to do right here. Background checks don't work. Licensing don't work. Prohibition, it doesn't work. And freezes on handguns don't work. Not to stop criminals that are going to use those things with bad intentions. It's not going to happen. And this didn't even happen in Canada. This did not happen in Canada, yo. And they already, look, what happened in Uvalde, the situationer used, allegedly, an AR-15. Those are out. Those are banned. He banned AR-15s a year ago. So Trudeau banned the shit, and it didn't happen in Canada. So why are they using that to ban handguns? And it's not because they want you. Listen, it's all bullshit. They're expected to come into force in the fall, along with a border crackdown on weapons smuggled from the United States. They're not going to crack down on smuggling. They're going to give you the illusion they're crack down on smuggling in the United States, but they're not going to crack down on smuggling. The shit's going to still get up there. The criminals are still going to criminal. They're still going to go around and they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do. A-level, look, we are capping the number of handguns in this country, Trudeau said on Monday. Just a straight tyrant. A straight tyrant. Tyrant's going to tyrant, right? We are a level of gun violence in our communities that is unacceptable. What level? He can't even quantify it. A level? So there can't no gun violence at all. No violence using firearms. What about violence, period? Forget this word. What about violence in general? Is that acceptable? Or is it just gun violence? I'm done. I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? This is absolutely disgusting. Justin Trudeau is a tyrant. Our government here in the United States are full of tyrants. No one cares about your children, right? No one. This is how you should think moving forward. It doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right, or you're a center, or you're an anarchist, or anything. What you should have in your mind is that you're the only individual that cares for your children's safety. And you should operate on that plane. You should operate from that frame of thinking, because at the end of the day, that's the reality. I mean, I care about children in general. I care that kids are getting kidnapped and all this shit, but I'm not doing anything to stop it. Am I? I actually care about your children. I care about all children, but I'm not going out and preventing and finding kidnapped children. You know who I'm making sure doesn't get kidnapped and hurt? My children. It sounds kind of cold. Or any child in my sphere of influence. Any child in my sphere of influence. I care about those too. I mean, I care about all children, like I said. But I'm going to go out of my way to protect my children, because that's where my focus is. That's where your focus should be. You see, the government government officials, they don't care about nobody, child. So I care about your children, me, myself, enough, and I care about you and your safety enough for you to be able to protect yourself, for you to empower yourself. I would never call for you to be disarmed, because I want you to be able to protect yourself and your children. And I want you to be able to feed yourself, if necessary, with that firearm. You might have to go out and hunt. You know what I'm saying? There's no telling what you might have to do with that firearm to feed yourself and your family. Outside of, hopefully you don't rob other people and steal from other people. You know what I'm saying? But I care enough about all the children in the world to want everyone in the world to be able to protect themselves using a firearm, using a bat, knife, whatever they can get at their disposal, a F-15, a tank, a Claymore mine, a Tomahawk missile, a Predator drone, whatever you can get your hands on to protect yourself and your prosperity and your future generations. I care enough about that to never, ever call for that shit to be restricted, to be prohibited from anybody until they demonstrate that they should not have it. And how do you demonstrate that? Well, you have to commit a crime and leave a victim. And then you got to go, after that, you find out, well, what level of victimhood did you create? What level of crime did you commit? And you go from there. But until that, barring that, no, I want everybody to be armed. That's how much I care about the children in this world. And the government, if they cared, if your government officials and your politicians cared, they would call for the same thing, because they cannot protect your children. They cannot protect your children. They can protect the president's children. They can protect the congressperson's children. They can protect the senator's children. They can protect the judge's children. They can protect they can protect them, but they can't protect you and your children. So why would they call for you to be disarmed in any form or fashion? Because they don't care about you and your family. Period. Sammy Drive says, so are they empowering the criminals and taking the rights away from citizens? Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing that for decades. Exactly, Marcy T. Marcy says, stop public schools. Exactly. Yeah. But Klaus, and that's funny, because Justin Trudeau is buddy with Klaus Schwab. Like, Justin Trudeau is one of Klaus Schwab's implants. Look at Tim Pool. It's not okay to tell kids it's going to it's not going to lick itself. I agree. Tippool's right on point with that one. Because that's what you're saying. Let's see what I'm going to get off soon, but I want to see what they're replying. This Manny Quintero guy says, sounds pretty spicy, almost pornographic. Yeah. Don Deverell says, new Texas laws require strip club employees and patrons to be 21. The previous age was 18. Monday, Governor Greg Abbott signed a number of bills into effect, including SB 315. This proposal would limit the age of people allowed on the premise of sexually oriented businesses. Then they should be under arrest. All these people should be placed under arrest. Where's Greg Abbott, the executive? Well, the executive of Texas, the head executive. Why hasn't he used his executive powers to have these people arrested? But I got to look into this. But I'm sure it was registered as a field trip to circumvent the law, while police right outside the building do nothing. Hey, you know, there is a pattern in Texas where their pigs don't do shit to protect children. I wonder what that's about. Matter of fact, if you look at Robb Elementary and now this, they're essentially doing the same thing in both places, protecting the harmers of children from the outraged parents, right? The outraged people. It looks like the police in Texas they go out of their way to protect child abusers and child killers. Let's see. Is this the same show that just got shut down? Did it get shut down? That's a good question. This person says, this makes me want to raise my kid Amish. This is how you push parents away from society. Yeah, I agree. I want to raise my kids Amish as well. Not, you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm done. I think I made my point. Man. Yeah, right to jail, right away, exactly. But that won't happen. But if you stockpile weapons on your own land, right? If you stockpile weapons on your own land and you don't want the government in your business, they'll set fire to your property and kill 27 children. I'm just saying. You know, ATF, FBI. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's all I got for now. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you share this out, man, so people can see it, because this is absolutely disgusting. You know. But anyway, much love to you guys. Thank you for coming through. And I'm going to holler at y'all later. Look, it's a lot of shit going on, and we have to keep pushing the line. We have to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.